Hi, I'm Neta Jackson, author of the best-selling Yada Yada Prayer Group series. And it's my pleasure to share with you my new series, the Yada Yada House of Hope. In the House of Hope series, I introduce a new character, Gabby Fairbanks, but readers will be glad to see old friends from the original Yada Yada series too. I'm here at the bus stop in Chicago, where Gabby's estranged husband, Philip, just out of the hospital after getting mugged by thugs, was threatened again with serious bodily harm if he didn't repay a gambling debt. But Gabby's friend, Harry Bentley, caught wind of it and, oh, wait, you haven't read Who Is My Shelter, the last book in the series? I better not tell you what happened. Behind me, you can see some of the luxury high-rises along Lakeshore Drive, which became the prototype for Richmond Towers, where the Fairbanks family lived in a penthouse, until Gabby ended up in a homeless shelter, that is. Why don't we take a walk over there? This is the park that separates the luxury high-rises from Lakeshore Drive. It's also the place where Gabby met Lucy the bag lady for the first time, in the rain. As you can see, it's winter now in Chicago, and weather challenges are much more severe for street people like Lucy, which is one reason that the real shelters, like my fictional Manna House and the House of Hope, truly save lives in more ways than one. Gabby was excited to discover this underpass that allowed her to come from the park over here to the Lake Michigan beach. But that underpass became a place of terror when her estranged husband, Philip, was mugged and dumped there by goons sent by a man he owed money to. But as God so often does, he took a tragedy and brought healing out of it. Okay, it's getting a little cold out here. I think I'll go to Gabby's favorite coffee shop for a warm-up. Oh, hey! Two can play that game! This is the Emerald City Coffee Shop, right under the Sheridan Road L station, one of Gabby's favorite retreats. It's also a place where several significant events happened during the House of Hope series, like the time her estranged husband Philip met her here in what she thought was going to be a step toward reconciliation, and turned out to be a plea for a loan to help him cover his gambling debts. Gabby walked out without her coffee that time. I've lived in Chicago most of my adult life, so it was very natural to place my novels here. Chicago is an exciting city. Most of all, it's filled with fascinating people from all kinds of ethnic groups, races, and cultures, including a wide variety of churches with different cultures and worship styles. Discovering how much we need each other in the body of Christ and the many gifts that different people and groups have to offer one another has become a theme that weaves through almost all of my novels. The idea for the Yada Yada Prayer Group series actually grew out of my own prayer group. Wish I could introduce you to all of them. We're still going strong 14 years later. Writing that first novel was my way of sharing, through fiction, the kind of things that God was teaching me through that motley crew of sisters. But I did discover you can't put 12 feisty women in a novel and expect them to stay there. Toward the end of the Yada Yada Prayer Group series, which became 7 novels, I introduced a homeless shelter called Manna House. But after finishing this series, I kept thinking there are a lot of stories still to be told in that shelter. I was discovering this in real life as a volunteer at the Joshua Center, an emergency homeless shelter for women here in Chicago. It was at the Joshua Center that I met a woman who'd once been on the streets herself, was rescued by God, and who became a house mother for a group of women in what they call second stage housing. This gave me the idea to write a series of novels about a house of hope for homeless moms with children growing out of the Manna House shelter. The titles for the House of Hope novels are taken from a gospel song by Dottie Rambo called I Go to the Rock, which becomes the theme for the series. As my character, Gabby Fairbanks, struggles with, where do I go? Who do I talk to? Who do I lean on? Who is my shelter? She discovers the answer. I go to the rock of my salvation. If you've read some of the House of Hope novels, you've met Lucy the Bag Lady, one of my favorite characters. I like Lucy because in her own in-your-face, crusty way, she cuts to the chase and tells it like it is. However, Lucy's a bit mysterious and we don't know much about her. However, in the final novel, Lucy's story comes to light bit by bit until, well, guess you'll have to find out for yourself in Who is My Shelter? Thanks for taking the House of Hope journey with me. And just like in real life, sometimes what seems like the end is only the beginning.